Hello and a very warm welcome. It's Andrew Eborn here, and I'm delighted that I'm joined by the legendary broadcaster and the old chum, Mike Reed. How are you, Mike?
Baron Eborn, I'm absolutely fine.
It's always a thrill. I love this. This is like the Eborn and Reed show, the ER of broadcasting. It's got to be good. And we've come.
But who is Laurel and who is Hardy?
We tried to work that out last time, didn't we? And I don't know who the straight man would be.
We're the only team with two straight men.
I know, it's always a thrill. We love it. But we're here today for a really rather special announcement on behalf of the Bee Gees fan club. Marion Edmondson and GSI contacted me and said, look, we would love to have a tour of London and all the places which are rather special to the Bee Gees and to RJ Gibb and his father Robin and to his uncle Barry and Uncle Morris. And so we've organised a number of places, and we announced today that it's going to happen at 11:11 tomorrow, the 25th of June. We'll be taking you round London, and Mike's going to be accompanying us. Give us some of those highlights, Mike, about where in London we should visit.
Well, certainly Robin's last appearance was at the Palladium with the Soldiers. And of course, the Bee Gees no strangers to the Palladium anyway. I think that because it was Robin's very last live performance. Westminster Hall in Parliament, of course, where Robin and RJ's Titanic took place, which was a wonderful evening, but sadly, Robin couldn't be there. The old Stigwood office, of course, in Mayfair.
Yes, we're going to wander down to Brook Street. It'll be amazing. We've got, I think, very close to there as well is IBC Studio on Portland Place, so that'll be fantastic.
It is. IBC, in actual fact, has, of course, a link with Radio Luxembourg because it was the Independent Broadcasting Corporation, I think. And during the Second World War, a lot of the radio stations in Northern Europe were knocked out, including IBC was a radio station over there, and then became a recording studio over here. So it has its roots in Northern Europe radio, IBC, and of course in Portland Place, and everybody recorded there, loads and loads of famous people, and right across the road from the BBC as well.
So we'll knock on your old chums at the BBC, that'd be fun as well. And the Speakeasy Club, talk to me about the Speakeasy Club, because that's on Margaret Street, isn't it, number 48?
Yeah, it is. A lot of Thin Lizzy did their premiere at the Speakeasy when they first came over from Ireland. These little clubs had, the Speakeasy, the Bag of Nails, all these places were famous back in the day. I think in the Bee Gees probably frequented them. I mean, you hear these stories. I didn't go to them, of course, but you hear these tales of like the Bee Gees who turn up and there'd be a Beatle and a couple of Rolling Stones, and there were places that people could go and hang out without getting bothered too much, and where the cool and the glitterati would hang out. Much like yourself, Andrew. Had you been there, you would have been there.
Absolutely. You know what it's like. But we always used to say that when we booked Margaret Thatcher for something, we'd always get Jeffrey Archer for free. So that was always a bonus. I think you work at those locations. There were Beatles and Bee Gees everywhere, all over the place. The place was infested with Beatles, wasn't it? So we're going to visit the Speakeasy Club. In addition to that, we're going to pop down to the Bomber Command Memorial. Talk to me about that.
Yes, that kicked off because of the Heritage Foundation. We used to invite a lot of the veterans along because it was the only time they get to see each other. So they come from various points, and we put them all on the same table so they could have a chat. And they were great characters. And they said there is no memorial one time to the 55,500 Allied aircrew that lost their lives in the Second World War. And it grew from there. And Herbert Lom's son, Alec Lom, got involved. He wrote a piece for the paper. The Telegraph did a piece. I remember doing an auction where we raised the first £200 for it. And Robin, of course, very involved. And it steadily grew. It growed and growed like Topsy. And then other people came on board. Michael Ashcroft put a lot of money in, things like that. And it really grew. And the veterans loved it. And then Philip Jackson had a night, I remember, down in, I think it's Albemarle Street or around there, Cork Street, where he showed us the small versions of what became the 9-foot statues.
Absolutely. So we seem to have lost Mike briefly, but what we can say is that do join us 11:11 tomorrow, the 25th of June, not even August, but much more for the very special GSI and